La di da da da. Who all's here? Anybody here? Weird. What's up? What's up? What's up? All right, I'm trying to find something. What's up? How's everybody doing? Trying to get everything set for a little conversation. I don't know why it's so hard to get to live on YouTube. Seems far too difficult. There we go. What's up? What's up? What's up? Ashes of Creation almost here. What should we do tonight? I don't know. What should we do tonight? What's up, Pally? I hear someone already got banned for streaming. Actually, I kind of curious whether there's any. Yes, I jumped in. So I've had a busy, busy day. I had work, left work at like 2:45. Had to go to my daughter's soccer game at like 4. She had then she had basketball practice at 5. So we got home at like 7:15 ish. So I jumped in for like an hour. I didn't put a whole lot of time in just because it's gonna get wiped in less than 12 hours. So it's like I was more curious to see about Q. I think I queued in. It's 45. I think is when I got in. 45 people ahead of me. Not terrible. Doing Lilith. I was disappointed they didn't have Vera, but whatever. So, but Lilith wasn't bad. I did not try Resna. I actually was going to, and then I had to repatch, and then I thought I'd just go live here. So, are the servers always that laggy? I could not even attack mobs. It was so bad. Really? Was this? I mean, yeah. Well, it depends. So you have to understand. Gosh, where to even begin? So I have to be careful with what I say because even once we get to tomorrow, technically PI is still under NDA, so I can't. I have to. You know, you got people like Jamie and others, Vladis and Richie and Rive, like they're NDA free come tomorrow. I still have to kind of be careful about what I talk about from the past. So you have to. I think the biggest thing to keep in mind, and the reason that I kept saying servers were going to probably be a problem initially, was that I'll use no boards as an example. Like we had to. Oh no, it's fine. I just trying to make sure I don't get in trouble. Um, we had to. Guys, how do I phrase this in a way that makes sense? We had to use a significant amount of developers for Node Wars because we did not have enough PI. Keeping in mind, I think the groups were like what 30, 35 each side, and there's well over 100 PI. So most of the PI were not showing up for Node Wars. I guess is where I'll leave that. You can take that for whatever you want. And then when they started the pre-alpha spot testing, the other thing, and I kind of alluded to this last night, and then on the video I made, initially you had a rush of people, but it wasn't long before you had really servers that did not have many people in them. So, that's why I think they kept adding more and more people to the pre-alpha spot testing because there weren't enough to really test the servers. People were just dropping off. I think again because there's just not much to do. Um, so they really haven't. They have not had anywhere near this many people testing their server structure. So, I mean, I know they've had bot testing and a lot of stuff like that, but They've not had this nearly this amount. This is I logged in at 7:45, 7:30, 7:45 Central Time to Lineth, and it is the most people I've ever seen in that game. The By far the most people I've ever seen. It's probably only, I don't know, a couple hundred, but by far the most I've ever seen in Ashes of Creation. So that's just why when we sort of talk about the servers, they just haven't had time they haven't had the people to really like test things. It's just not something they've had access to. So that's why I think servers are going to sort of be an issue early on. I do think they'll fix them. I mean, that's been a consistent thing we've seen, is that once they do have the data, they pretty rapidly iterate. I mean, I've always said Node Wars. The first two tests of Node Wars were terrible. By the sixth test, it ran really well. Kind of the same for pre-alpha. Actually, I was really surprised yesterday when I played, because the servers felt the best they had yesterday. I don't know what they did. Well, I guess Planendorf was in chat for a little while. He did say they made some patches. They did update a little bit to it. So, which also makes me wonder what else they have planned that we're just completely unaware of. Not to go into this whole, like, they have, you know, a dozen biomes ready to go, blah blah blah. But they clearly had a better server patch ready to go for yesterday than what we knew, because it felt better. But by the end of Let's Go, yes, great name, love the name. You need to add ashes to it though. So yesterday, but I will say yesterday evening did get bad, but I didn't have really any problems. So what were you were having? You couldn't attack mobs. Was it just were they not attacking back, or did they have server meshing working when it was on UE4? That's a great question. Um, I don't know that they've explicitly said. Actually, yes, I think they did. They've claimed to have some of this server tech actually back, yes, in a Alpha One. And in fact, I think depending on who you talk to, some people will tell you Alpha One servers were much better than Alpha Two right now. They did not have Intrepid Net. They do not have still dynamic gridding, but I'm pretty sure they probably had server meshing bomb back then. I'm almost I'd have to go back and watch the stream, but I'm almost positive they said that they've had that running since A1. So, which again just begs the question of why things are a little bit worse now, which kind of goes to Rive's video. I think he raised some really good questions. 8 years, here we are. In some ways, it seemed like Alpha 1 was better than Alpha 2. I don't know. I don't know if there's answers to that, but you'd attack, and then 10 seconds later, your attack would register. Oh, well, that's actually fairly bad. Like, I didn't have anything like that. Fought 1v1, neither of us took damage. What server were you on? We're on Lineth or Resna? Goblins outside Lionhold were good for me. Yeah, so depending on where you go for goblins, Dark Mitten, there's always been kind of issues. So when you go, what is it, north? Is it north? Yeah, I think north. Um, and you go to my dog's about to start barking probably. But anyways, when you go north, if you take a left, where like one of the first commissions are to kill goblins, there's a server boundary line there that has always been a problem. There are always mobs that are unresponsive there. That's been there ever since we started doing spot testing. If you just go straight rather than right, which does not for some reason give you it does not count for your the quest for whatever reason. They're the same goblins. Yeah, those have always been pretty responsive. Actually, those are spaced pretty poorly and can kick your ass if you're not really careful. So that was on Resna. First tune was on Lineth. Yeah, so I think Resna is just probably overloaded. Although I noticed this time when I logged in, yesterday the default server was Resna, and the default server has always been Resna, which is why I was telling people to go to Vera, just because most people aren't going to know to change their default server. I actually noticed that for me, at least, the default server was the EU server that's up right now. I don't know why that was, but that's what defaulted for me. So I almost wanted to play on it just to see what my ping was like. Default server was few. That's weird for everyone. I don't know why they defaulted it to EU. I did mention to Planendorf last night they should probably look at changing that. I'm sure it's not like a high priority thing, but that's kind of weird. I don't know why it's defaulted to EU for everyone because it's not really well played out, right? Like if you don't know what you're looking for, it's really easy to not realize you can change your server because your first thing you're presented with is the character creator, right? So it's like, hey, I create a character and hit next, and all of a sudden you're in the game. So uh, I'll be curious to see how many people complain tomorrow about their ping, and it's just because they accidentally defaulted to EU. That'll be hilarious. I've decided that I'm going to probably stay home tomorrow, so don't tell anyone. They did announce that the servers are supposed to go live on at what 10 a.m. Pacific time. So that's 8 a.m. my time. So I will be up and ready to go. How many players tomorrow compared to today? That's a great question. I don't know. When it starts, I don't know. When it starts, because right now I want to say there's probably more right now because everyone has access that will have access tomorrow, and it's like after work hours right now. So I feel like right now would probably be the more populated time, but I really don't know. Tomorrow, going live at 8 a.m. or whatever time. What do you mean if I live in Hawaii? It's 10 Pacific, right? Are you messing with me? Oh, sorry, I'm backwards, not AM. You're right. I'm thinking backwards. So yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 1 Eastern. Sorry, my head got spinning there. What was I thinking of? What did I read that I was thinking about? Anyways, um, I'm gonna just stay home and stream. I figure what the hell, once in a lifetime. Our caravan's working. Yes. Yes, I guess I would say. I mean, you can start one and see how it goes. Things are just really buggy right now. I think when I logged in, someone was even trying to fight the dragon and it was not going very well. Will tomorrow be as buggy and laggy as the spot test today? Most likely it will. I don't know that they're going to have a patch in now. Now they have, I guess, fairly frequently patched in the mornings overnight. They are crunching basically all 24/7. So maybe they get some data and they improve tomorrow. The other thing to keep in mind is tomorrow you'll have all six servers and potentially more. Yesterday it was kind of weird because they were quote stress testing, but they had all of the servers active. All three at EU and all three in A, which there was no way they were going to actually like get to a point of really being able to stress that servers. So today they took it down to just three total, and that works better because you do start to see some of the queue times. I don't think anyone. I think the most anyone said to me that they were in was about 200. I don't know if any of you had a longer queue. I wonder if tomorrow will be a different version of the game from today. Again, I don't know if they'll be able to put something in that fast as far as a patch. They are quick typically, but they're not usually that fast. So I doubt that they'll have a different version tomorrow. I actually think part of why they opened up. You saw 1300 Q. Holy shit! Was that? I bet that was Resna. Had to be Resna. Um, I actually think part of why they're doing the stress test right now is to get more of a handle on how many servers they might need tomorrow. That's my one of my opinions as to why they're doing this. today. Otherwise, I don't know why you would stress a server, right? You've already warned people for months now that Alpha 2 is starting and it's going to be buggy, servers are going to be down. So, why you would all of a sudden do a stress test the day before, I'm not sure. Um, and again, I don't think they're going to be able to put things in that fast. So I think today is just more to see, is 6 servers going to be enough? I will say this fixed issues really quick in like 15 minutes when servers opened. Yeah, I mean they've iterated, and they do have some stuff hiding. Like I said, yesterday when I jumped in for the first stress test, I thought it would be awful. I thought it would be terrible because the pre-alpha 2 spot testing, really, really, really fell off. It just really fell off as we were kind of progressing along. There just were not that many people in. So I thought for sure yesterday was going to be awful. Actually, the servers yesterday were the best that I've had in spot testing. So, they do update. They do have some things hanging about. Um, we'll see. He did say, Steven mentioned they took a bunch of people off of um, dynamic gridding and put them just onto server architecture in general to try to make this launch a little bit more smooth. So I guess we don't even really know how many people are working on it right now, but I assume it's basically the whole networking team. I didn't bother taking off a full day tomorrow. The first 2 hours will be queues and issues. I mean, that's very true. Um, well, I don't know. I don't know how much. It's this great question that was asked before, right? Like how many, how packed do we think the servers are today compared to tomorrow? And I don't know. I think you can look at that a couple of different ways. So um, we'll see. I do generally think that taking days off for alpha releases is probably a little bit much, especially this alpha. But um, I'm also curious. There's already starting to be some. I think it was Force Gaming put out a video this morning, and he actually covered several of our friends' videos. I think Jamie, Nice, No One, Rive was on there. Um, really, just Richie just going over sort of their feedback videos. I forget what he titled it. I need to look. Does anybody know what he titled it? It was almost like a clickbait title, but which the reason I bring this up makes me wonder how much that will deter people from jumping in tomorrow. Oh yeah, he titled it "Bad News for Ashes of Creation." So, which I don't think it's bad news. I think you just have to be realistic where we're at. So, um, I'm looking forward to tomorrow. I'm going to spend most of the day um, trying to stream and level and do whatever the hell you all want me to do. I've already been through this testing so many times that I'm going to kind of let everyone that's with me just sort of tell me what they want me to do. What weapons do you want me to use? What class? Blah blah blah. Where do you want me to go? What do we want to fight? Who do we want to fight? What's up, Grump Guy? Um, I think there's a fair chance. I've consistently said that I didn't think we would get to play it all this weekend, but after seeing the servers yesterday and logging in just a minute ago before I went live, they didn't seem all that terrible. So I think it'll all come down to how long of a queue. So because again, keep in mind it's only 3 servers right now. They are gonna open with 6. So the queues that you see right now will probably either be non-existent or shrink quite a bit. Maybe not for NA, but for EU, I would think. So, has everybody in the pre-alpha or sorry, the alpha? What do they call it now? Early alpha 2. Um, I wonder what y'all. So, what's everybody's first class? I'm going to stick with the cleric. I really have found that the cleric sort of mace shield slash spellbook is a really great combo for finishers. Really fun to play. The cleric is pretty OP. So you've tested some. What classes have you tested, Grumpy? Tank and pray. I get a group, so I don't have to solo. Yeah. Although I think it kind of depends on who you talk to. So Ludulu was talking in our Discord today. It was kind of like, what the fuck are you all talking about? Like it's not hard to level, and the tank's easy to it's easy to solo with the tank. I guess he was playing tank. So of course I asked him what level he was, and he was like, oh, I got to like level 3, level 4. I'm like, that's well, yeah, you can solo then. It gets worse later. What's up, life and stuffs? Arctic, Rat King, Bard or Fighter? Ooh, that would be a tough one to try first. I love both of those classes, so I would probably take the Bard over the Fighter. Um, the Bard is a lot of fun. Actually, depending, I was when you log in, they're going to really, 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 really urge you to leave Lionhold very fast. I think most of you are going to want to so that other people can get in, because the way they have their queue system set, it's sort of by proximity. So the more people that are really within the very close vicinity of the login area, it will cut down. It'll cut down how many people it lets in. So they're gonna want us to move out, and the bard actually will really you won't have to focus on getting the mount. Um, the first thing really the biggest thing you're want to do tomorrow when you log in is get your mount, and that's just a pretty quick, simple quest chain through the crafting process. But bards probably don't need to actually get the mount because, to be honest, the mount you get is pretty shitty. But and you played fighter, very limited. Yeah, I really did like the fighter. If you can spec into some of the self healing stuff, it's a lot of fun. It's pretty self sustaining. Does the bard do damage? Yeah, the bard can do some damage, depending on how you choose your skills. Um, the most I did with bard during pre-alpha testing, Jamie Chaos and I went to a goblin area just to get away from everybody because the servers were shit, and we did okay actually. He was a fighter, I was the bard, and I had spec'd into sort of a it was kind of hybrid with some stuff in damage, some stuff in buffs, basically, and a little bit of heals. But the bard can be pretty self-sustaining, and keep in mind you can switch all of the weapons. You can really pick whatever weapon you want to pick. So try everything, see what works best for you. I'd totally be fine if they just teleported a lot of us into Timbuktu. Yeah, I mean, have you been playing that, Red Stern? Have you been able to test today or yesterday? My biggest thing with that is just the the challenge I see when they say that they want everyone to move outside of Lionhold is that you don't get too far out and you start having um, mobs that are much higher level than you. And when I say much higher, I mean it's not like you're running into like level 25 stuff, but not far out from Lionhold, you are running into 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 level monsters. And, if you're level 3 or 4, your ass will get handed to you. So the town is just so close to Lionhold is the problem. Yeah, that's true. And they do plan to have a second starting area as well. It's just not ready yet. So I don't know. I actually, there's also been a question in my head of are they going to stick with 6 servers or are they going to open more? I think they're going to probably try their hardest just to stick with 6 if they can. Because, and I didn't, I wanted to ask Stephen this and I didn't get to it, was why the queue system. But, looking at it now, based off of how PI sort of acted during Node Wars, how a lot of the testers were during pre-alpha 2, spot testing, there's just a lot of drop off as people get, they spend a little bit of time in Ashes and they just take extended breaks. So I imagine they assume that's probably going to happen here. That this first weekend or two we'll have a big wave kind of influx of people, and then drop off a little bit at some point. So we'll see. Yeah, and that the town being the close to, I mean, that's where all your quests are, right? You have quest chains. That's um, everything that you really need to do initially is right there. There's just nowhere to go. The quest to go kill the goblins or go kill those little rabbit looking things, like they're all right there too. So it's not like it's sending you super far away. But we also don't know how far it takes into account before it starts letting people in. My queue moved pretty fast today, so um, that really was not a problem for me today. We'll see what it's like tomorrow, because I imagine a lot of people um, will probably be like me. It's Friday, take a half day off work, take a full day off work, and go play some Ashes, or try to, anyways. So um, the monsters, that will be interesting to see if they stay. I didn't have it as bad as Pally did, but definitely there are times where they don't really are just aren't really not reactive to you, and so it's kind of easy to kill them and gain your experience with really pretty limited um, risk. I was really thinking that I would log in today and see red people somewhere. Um, I've always had this theory that as you add in everybody, 100,000 people suddenly have access, that you're going to have some people that create throwaway PK alts. But I didn't see anyone running through town trying to kill anybody. So they were trying to fight Firebrand. I think it would be hilarious to try to bring Firebrand to the starting area if you could train him there. That would be a lot. That would be a shit ton of fun to see. Saw 10 purples. Yeah, I mean, I've talked to a couple people that tried fighting. So um, remember the Alt F keybinds. So that is a big thing to remember. If you need to flag. Oh, Lore Forged. What is up, everybody? How is it going? I appreciate all of you all three of you. That's fucking awesome to come. What's up? Look at all the raiders. It's everybody's big day, the last night before the either the fun or the shitstorms begins. I don't know. We'll see whichever one it is come tomorrow. So I thought they said Lloyd did bring Firebrand. They tried to bring Firebrand. I think it might have gotten bugged. I'll have to ask Lloyd. I know they tried it, but um, thanks, Cash. I appreciate all y'all. I really do. I want to say, because come tomorrow, I do think a lot of things are going to probably change a little bit within the community. All of a sudden we're just going to have literally 100,000 plus more people in the game. I just want to say over the last year or so, really getting to know a lot of the content people like Lore Forged, like Vladis. I'm going to forget a lot of people. Royer, the Voices of Vera guys, Q. This community has been fucking awesome. So I just want to say that before we get a whole bunch of people in tomorrow, because I think the world of Ashes might change quite a bit come this weekend, but we'll see. But I appreciate all of y'all. Um, but yeah, I'll have to check with Lloyd to see. I think they did try to change him in, train him into the city, but I don't know that they actually were successful. And we did make it. We are finally here. We are what? Well, we're not quite less than 12 hours, but I need to change my thing. But we're getting there. How many people are not going into work tomorrow? That's what I want to know. How many people have made the decision just to stay home? Um, that would be me. I was actually sitting there today thinking, well, shit, I don't have very many. I don't have like any important meetings tomorrow, so um, do I really have to go into work? I can maybe remote in if I have to. So I'm gonna probably stay home. I'm that guy. I'm the guy that said don't stay home for alphas, and now I'm gonna stay home. So yeah, Richie's thread was fun too. Richie's ramped it up this last several weeks leading up to this. It was fun to see all of the really specific comments he made about each of the creators as well. So that was pretty cool. I got the first 3 weekends off. Yeah. Um, I don't have to work weekends anymore, which is nice. So um, it's just the Fridays that I have to kind of pay attention to. Work until midnight every night this week. Try to get ahead of schedule. We'll see. Um, November 8th. That's sad. I don't want to get anyone's hopes up. Well, no, I don't think they would do that. There really has been a lot of took today and tomorrow off. Yeah. There really has been a lot of drop off. I don't know if that will happen with all these other. I don't know if that will happen this time, but we'll see whether or not there's a drop off over the next 3 weekends. So let them play test for us. Yeah. Well, hopefully by November 8th, the servers will be pretty good. Actually, that's I think everybody's obvious goal. I think it's a reachable goal, it's an obtainable goal. Um, the iteration over Node Wars, the iteration over pre-alpha 2 tests has been pretty significant, pretty good, and how much they have improved servers with the information they get back. Test was fun. I hope my bug reports actually helped. I'm sure they will. Throw them in. They read through all those. I think their bug reporting system's actually very good. They added that checkbox that makes you select a topic, which was not in there initially. I love that they added that. Um, but I've actually had a lot of fun reading through some of the bugs that have been happening. Where'd my phone go? I took some screenshots. Um, I don't know if I'm allowed to stream the forums or not, because I thought about actually just going through some of the more hilarious bugs that were posted, but I need to probably reach out to Maggie because I don't want to get in trouble literally less than a day before we can do anything. Um, there was a whole like some of them I it's like how does this even happen? I need to find, oh, here it is. Um, where is it? Oh, everybody's hard drives keep filling up. There's people having issues with their hard drives filling up after crashes. It's like, how does that happen? Like, how does that happen? Richie's yelling at me to change this title, so I will. What, less than a day, I'll say. God damn it, Richie! Be an asshole and bother me. Hard drives in 2024. Yeah. Well, I just don't know. It sounds like the problem that they're zeroing in is when you crash, that some people are having just humongous reports spit out from crashing. Yeah, the catch log. It's like that's crazy. How can you make that much reporting? Like, how do you even have time to read through all that? It's funny. There was another one about the getting in. Oh, here it is. If you have a queue that hasn't moved in a very long time, you may need to just make a new character. So that one made me laugh as well. Like, how are characters getting stuck in the queue? Um, able to PK without gaining corruption. Oh, I see you're answering a question. What does a purple player title mean? Um, I don't know if I would say PK. I mean, you have to. I mean, I mean that all depends on if they fight back, right? So you go purple just to fight. You'll go red if they don't fight back. By the way, so and corruption is pretty painful right now. So I think that's actually a big part of why we don't have. Holy shit! Now it's Jamie. Jamie is raiding. What's up, everybody? We're almost here, almost there. God damn, there's a lot of people here. Phantam, that's not my name. What? Magisto? What? I'm gonna make up something for you that that's not how I spell my name. Do it like Steven does. Phantom X, please. Thank you. I will go by that and only that. I appreciate you, Jamie, as always. Um, for anybody who is not following Jamie, you need to go follow Jamie. Um, the man is a crazy, crazy content creator that has literally like put his sleep has put sleep to the side the last several weeks to try and connect with everybody in the community. So um, Jamie is a beast at all this. He also has a guild if you want to go join them, be a part of his cult. So we also have probably a Theory Forge guild, but it's going to be small. So if you really have any intent on doing cool shit, you probably don't want to be in our guild. I think we're going to be there more for the casual sort of see what we can fuck up when we want to fuck it up kind of thing. Crazy PvP Lord. Yes. Yes. If you want the PvP and you want the Cult Daddy, you need to go follow Jamie. So, hello. Who are you? Well, Thunder Trod. Thank you for asking. I am Phantom X in everywhere gaming, part of Theory Forge. Theory Forge is a group of people, me, Diggs, and the legendary Neurotoxin. If you have ever been on the Ashes of Creation forums, you will probably know Diggs. So we have been a group for God shit 10 years. Yeah, 10 years. August was 10 years that we have done a podcast. So we've covered Ashes of Creation for 7 years now, which is kind of sad when I say it out loud, but you know, it's been fun. I 100 fucking percent think that I've got my money out of this game now that I've had 7 years to create content and interact with people. But yeah, that is who we are. I would say we have been probably more casual content creators than anything. We typically just do Sundays, but I've tried to get in a little bit more now that Ashes is here. So I am Royer. I don't know who you are. Who are you? Why are you in the chat? Just kidding, of course. Royer is also an amazing content creator. Actually knows his shit when it comes to tech. So if you ever have questions about kind of the coolest streaming shit, you go to Royer for that. What do I enjoy most from today? I did not get a ton of time. I have two kids, so actually I went from work to soccer. This is going to sound like super daddy, but like went from work to soccer practice to basketball practice and then home. And so I had about 30 minutes in Ashes. But I'm in PI. I will put that out there too. So I've been in PI since, I don't know, April, March, something like that. So I've also been testing for quite a while. So I don't get too deep into it. And I haven't been super deep into a lot of this just because I don't want to burn out. I was also, for as an example, in like New World very early on, and I pretty much burnt myself out testing that. So tried not to do that with Ashes. But I will say today it was really fucking cool that when I logged in, well, one, I had a queue of 45. First time I had a queue, so that's a good sign. Queue worked fine. Got in within, I don't know, 5-10 minutes. And I saw the most fucking people that I've ever seen in this game sitting right there in front of me, which was really fucking cool to see. So I would say that was probably the most enjoyable part of today, is just seeing all these fucking people running around and trying to be living the world of Vera. So, which is what we've been waiting for. I think you talk to anybody in PI. I think almost everybody has been sort of like, when do we finally get people in with us? Because we're tired of the same 40 fucking people that we play with all the time. Like, when do we get new people in? So it's really cool to see that. Is A2 going to be good? Ooh. Well, I'm going to go Diggs here and say, can you define good for me? Once you define good for me, has anyone told you sound like Steven? No. In what way? Like in the actual sound of my voice, the cadence of my voice? In what way? I don't think I sound like Steven. Jet had a son, had a soccer game today too. Yeah. Yeah. My daughter's doing two things. Like it's soccer and basketball overlaps. So now we're in this like kind of hell phase of soccer games, basketball practice, right after the other. Do I really sound like Steven? I don't think I sound like Steven. Does anybody agree with that? I don't know. I'm going to go back to the is A2 going to be good? That really does depend on what you say good is. You're going to get to experience what many of us have been waiting for years. In that sense, I think you'll have fun. You'll have fun being able to finally like load up the game, create a character, get in. The biggest thing that I think you will find is there's not a lot of content. So again, that's sort of where I think, what is your definition of fun or good, I should say? 100 hours to get to 25. I don't know that there's enough content for 100 hours, but that's my biggest knock right now. But I think it'll be good. I think as long as the whole point of right now is server stability anyways. So, I don't know that you're going to really want to log on and stay on for hours at a time, days, multiple days. Well, you can't stay on multiple days of the week, but the whole reason they're doing the weekend structure is so that they can spend the week to actually take that data and improve the servers for us, which I think they will do. So I'm missing some chat. I was at work when I got informed of today's spot test. I managed to get on for a few minutes before it ended. Did you have a queue? That's always my question. Also depends on what server you went. Resna tends to get hit a lot. So my advice to everyone that's brand new to this that really doesn't necessarily give a shit what server you go on is to not go on to Resna. Resna tends to have all the big sweaty guilds. So anyone else have an issue with a grayed out frame rate? I did not turn on frames today actually. But I was in the 20s to 30s on ultra yesterday. If I turned to medium settings, I was around 60 or so. See, and I enjoyed my first 4 hours in Vera tonight. Yeah, it's fun, right? The first time stepping in is a lot of fun. So, take your time, explore. I really would say take your time. Try to explore shit. If you're not someone that typically reads quests, I would just take a little bit of time and read the quests because there just isn't a lot of content right now, and so you're going to want to actually spread your time a little bit. Fupo's here. Pineapple on pizza, okay? Yes, it is okay. Why is it not okay for you? It has to have ham though. Um, are the servers supposed to be down? I logged in for the first time. Um, I don't know. Fupo, are the servers down? Like, did they bring them down? I went live, so I've not been paying attention to Discord. Um, so I know Z, you don't like pizza. Sorry. I grew up on pizza. Like literally, my childhood hangout was it's called Pizza King in Indiana. It's the best fucking pizza you'll ever have. They actually freeze dry pizza and mail it across the country because people that leave Indiana want Pizza King. Um, Pineapple on pizza. I won't go pineapple on pizza first, but um, I don't mind it. Um, oh, here's catching up with my sound. So it's the cadence that not that I actually sound like Steven. Yeah, I don't think I actually sound like Steven. I certainly don't cough more or as much as Steven coughs more. Yeah, probably my tone or calmness. Um, I do have sort of an acquired. That's big talk. What's big talk? And why does my name look all weird? Who did you? Um, who did you even? Who's Fanto MX? That's not me. You tagged the wrong person, man. Um, shit. Yeah, people are everywhere. What was I even fucking talking about now? I got thrown off. Oh, my voice. Yeah. So, um, I actually, so that's a developed thing. So I'm actually in my real life, I don't know if I should share this. I don't really care. I'm a physician. I work in the sort of behavioral health, mental health space, and train other physicians. So I kind of naturally learned to have a more calm voice, not to get people riled up. What's up, Chris? Good. Yeah, thanks for hanging out. I appreciate you sticking around for a little bit with the raid. Um, I will be on Vera. I'll be streaming tomorrow too. Anybody that wants to jump in, play around, try to kill me, I'm all for it tomorrow. So I expect to be killed multiple times, and that's okay. It wouldn't tag me, so that's weird. I wonder why it wouldn't. Fupo is ignoring you. Fupo's probably eating cookies right now. So the drink of choice is water. Actually, the drink of choice is nothing other than water currently. Yesterday, I got on and went until about 11 o'clock, and by the end of it, my throat was. I needed water, so I got some water today. Coconut water, sure. I don't have any, but I mean the tap works just fine for me as well. So. Is frame rate being capped by server limitations? I don't think so. Um, I'm not aware of that. I mean, it certainly is limited by your video card mainly. Like I said, I can sit on ultra and be 20 to 30, depending on where I'm at with a lot of people. if I turn the settings really far down to medium, it jumps up to 60, 70, something like that frames. So you're totally kidding. Yeah, I mean, I actually don't mind coconut water, but I just take it out of the tap too. Are they limiting foliage, etc.? I don't. That's a good question. I don't know if Fupo's still here. Somebody posted a picture that I saw that appeared to show in the not too far distance a character's disappearing, pretty close up, like that they had turned the view distance down for the for performance. When I've logged in, I've not seen that. So I can sit in the starting area and see people ride their horse all the way over the hill. Like, and then I can't see them because they go over the hill. So my specs, admittedly, are not like it's not a. I don't have a terrible PC. So I have an AMD 7950 3D CPU, and then I have a 46 Ti or 4060 Ti for my processor. I do also have 128 gigabytes of RAM memory. I did that during Node Wars because memory leaks were so fucking terrible that I just doubled my memory because why not? So isn't that the server grids? Well, you should still be able to see, right? So, and I went and stood exactly where this picture was, and I didn't see that. So I don't know. I don't know if it's a limitation on the video cards on the settings in the game or just the actual tech stuff. I'm not really sure. But I've not noticed any view distance problems for me. Game played smooth. RX 78. Yeah, I mean that's kind of going to be an optimal part. So I do have a little bit overkill. I don't think you have to have what I have to play. So um, so life and stuff. So your view distance was not far at all either. I don't know. I've not. And I didn't notice that tonight either when I logged in. Maybe they gave the PI special builds. No, I wish. I wish they would. I wish they'd give us priority in the queue. That'd be nice. But no, I will be playing the Q Monster game tomorrow along with everyone else. Also, it makes sense why stability is the main concern. Yeah, 100%. I mentioned this before everybody rated us. When you look at the number of players they've had over the course of the last, year, it's not been that many. You know, I can only talk about Node Wars with PI still, and so I will say that PI really did not show up for Node Wars. We have a core group of people that showed up regularly, but PI is over 100 members, and we were unable to field two groups of just PI. That's why we had to have developers with us for Node Wars. So there was a drop off in PI for Node Wars. There's been a drop off in the pre-alpha 2 testers as well, pretty significant. So they've really not had anywhere near this number of players on their servers. That's why when I logged in today and I see all these fucking people running around, it was amazing because that's just not happened before. So to see all these weird ass names kind of around has been a lot of fun. NVIDIA 1650, how much pain should I would expect that you're going to probably need to turn down your settings a bit, but I don't know. We'll see. There are some, it's a great question. Actually, who was it that mentioned foliage? So I will say, depending on how I view the world, and I don't know if this is an intentional thing versus it's just buggy programming right now. Foliage will disappear. But that's even like right up next to my character, and then I can sort of turn my view a little bit, and it pops back up. So some of that I think is just it's work that just needs to be done on the game still. So Steven mentioned recently in an interview in retrospect, yes, that he would want to ramp up testers sooner. Yes, he did say that. That was with who asked him that question? Was it Vladis? I don't remember. They asked kind of what he would go back and do differently. And he did say that, and I think that's true. Um, Relying on just PI. Again, I can only speak about no bores. Most of PI didn't really show up for no bores. So 3070 Ti. Yeah, you haven't crashed. That's good. For some reason, NVIDIA cards have been having a lot of Unreal crashes. Don't know why, but they have. So I had some video issues initially with my setup as well after one of the PTR patches. It was actually maxing out my VRAM. And weirdly enough, it was actually after. So I played the game just fine, but when I closed it out, all of a sudden my monitors just went black. Now that's not happened again, so I don't know if they fixed something or what. But I think you're going to probably get to. There's going to be a wide range of PCs that will run this okay. I mean, it's at the end of the day, it's on Unreal 5, right? So Unreal 5 is meant to be trying to get as many people in as they can. Getting back in queue of one. How do they bring them servers back up? Because I've just not been paying attention to Discord. So I'm probably not going to play anymore tonight because they are going to wipe the servers. So, I logged in, ran around, smiled at all the people that were running around with me, and then just logged back out. So, oh, there's Fupo. See, I told you he went and got cookies. He's not ignoring you. He just went and got cookies. So, which server is the sweaty server? Resna, most likely. Resna has been the server that's always existed. So, No Wars was Resna. So, I think that's the historical server where all of the sweaty guilds will go. The two that everyone I think thinks of is Envious and then what is it? Guild Ova Nordum, Lineker's guild. I think they're going to both be in Resna. And I'll be in Vera. Um, but yeah, it's going to be. I actually kind of want to be in Resna just to see all the shit talking that happens. Because I can tell you over pre-alpha 2, there's been a lot of shit talking. Just to watch the global chat has been hilarious. Um, of their two guilds arguing back and forth, like Envy is saying something about Lineker sucking, and Lineker being like, "I just killed three of you. What the hell are you talking about?" I'm ready for that. Sticky on YouTube says, "I just logged out of Ashes. First time I've ever played. Really like the combat so far. Didn't expect that." That's really good to hear. I will say, I don't want to be a downer. Again, I think there's a lot of things that still need to happen for Ashes. I really truly think the earliest this game gets released is 2027. I will say that the combat is really good. So I'm not surprised to see you type that. They've really been working on combat for 5-6 years now. They've iterated on it many many times. I think it was the right choice to start with combat first. Um, I said this last night. You look at stuff like PAX Day. PAX Day didn't start with combat. They started with building and crafting, and look where they're at. Everyone quit playing their game because it wasn't fun to play. Um, just didn't feel good. So, been listening to wrapping up a few things in your life. Yeah, you're gonna have a pretty busy weekend, I imagine, Fupo. Um, Miss old school WoW server drama. Yeah, you're gonna get that in spades. So if you miss it, you're gonna get plenty of it come Ashes. So. Um, It really was fun. I should have. Well, I wouldn't have been allowed to screenshot it, so I won't say that. Penumbra says Bard is fun. Yes, Bard is fun. Um, I'm still going to go with Cleric first, and I gave this tip yesterday. So for those of you who are starting or just started tonight or starting tomorrow, make sure you utilize both um, um, weapons. So you can use multiple weapons because each one's going to have um, a proc at the end of the combo, and you will use both together. So what's this? What's this? Wait, what did I just see? Where did that go? Somebody on YouTube, N3C. This guy talking for almost an hour. Well, yeah. I mean, what's your point, man? Yeah, I've been talking for almost an hour. I almost talked for like 2.5 hours yesterday. I don't get what you're trying to say. You're free to leave, my brother. Do you think that tomorrow's build will look different from today? No. I think today was to um, I think today was just actually and I don't know if people will agree with this, but I think today was actually to see if they have the accurate number of servers that they need. Yesterday they stress test with all of the servers, and none of the servers were stressed. Well, I think Resna got a little stressed. Resna was the only one with the queue. So today they stress test and they only used half their servers. So I think today was more so just to get a better estimate of how many servers they need, not necessarily that they're going to be pushing any updates. Now, I will say that historically they do push updates all the time. So I wouldn't be surprised if we wake up tomorrow and there's a patch. That does happen from time to time. So and they do hide things. I've learned that. We all I felt like I kind of ate crow a little bit. I put out this video. Many of us put out this video that the servers are going to suffer big time. And then yesterday it was like the best server experience I had had as far as stability, and it was with a lot of other fucking people. So, and like I said, Planendorf was in here, and he did say they actually patched it prior to the stress test yesterday. So they have some stuff uh, hidden there a little bit. So, um, JetGC, read last message, please. What was that? Um, do you think they will fix the fact that Quest NPCs and stuff get mixed in with the regular players? That is true. It is not very easy to see them. I think that is absolutely wonderful feedback to give. Um, you're right. There's nothing above their heads. They are not outlined. Um, I think that's um, pretty good feedback to give. I mean, right now it's as long as you're within proximity, you just walk up to them and push the F key, and it'll automatically register with them. But that's a good point. You do miss them. They get hidden. So where should I give feedback? Probably on the forums. I mean, I guess you could maybe bug that, but I don't know that that's really a bug versus something that could just be improved upon. So that might be more of a forum post. And I promise you, they read through all this. I mentioned I had a VRAM issue, and I was like the 10th post on a thread, and I just put in, hey, I had this problem too. Here's my specs. Uh, and it wasn't long before actually someone from Intrepid reached out to me to try to get more information. So they are 100% going through all of the shit you put on the forums. So I would maybe put it there. Um, Penumbra, if you don't leave the starting zone, my dragon will start eating people. Yeah, they were teleporting people out. I don't know how I feel about that because um, you don't if you get too far out, you don't go very far out from the starting zone, and the all the shit around you gets more higher level. Like it'll eat your ass. So I don't know how far we're expected to run out. What's up, Planendorf? We've name dropped you a couple of times with how good the turnaround and improving things is. So we were also just talking about that maybe actually it was Jet GC here in chat gave some really good feedback that it's very hard to see the NPCs right now when they're surrounded by players. That there's no outline, there's no nothing over their head, so it's really hard to see the NPCs. I know that's probably not a high priority thing right now, um, but I thought it was pretty good feedback. So traveling to Joab was fun. Died like 6 times to random mobs. Yeah, that's what I mean. If you get too far out, your ass will get handed to you. Like you can't go to the nodes, and the earliest I would go to the nodes is probably level 5 with a group, and by myself probably I don't know 7. Otherwise, you are most likely going to die at some point. So um, that's an area you've had little influence over. Yeah. Um, yeah. So even from a distance or up close, NPCs just blend in. Yeah, they do. I think that's something that over time can be definitely worked upon. More talking. Where'd the guy go that said I was talking, laughed at me for talking for an hour? Is he still here? Are you still here? What was your name? N3C. So if anybody sees a character named N3C in any of the servers tomorrow, you can feel free to kill him. Am I allowed to say that? Is that wrong to say? Am I going to get in trouble saying that? And what was it again? Just so I can get his name out. It was N3C. N3C thinks we should not talk much about Ashes of Creation, so we will address him with violence instead. We will not use words. We will use swords. And yeah, KOS. So, um, yeah. So everyone else, that like, what do y'all think? We've heard combat. Um, LOL world first bounty. I actually, let's say this world's second bounty. I think the first bounty I put out was on Richie. I think yesterday we gave everyone the okay to kill Richie. So we'll say that N3C is the second bounty. Um, did they ban that dude who was had his stream up? Oh, he was streaming for that long. I heard there was someone that streamed. I mean, what kind of an idiot do you have to be to stream? You're less than a day away. Less than how much you spent? At least what, 100 and something dollars, and and you're gonna like throw that all away for 100 minutes? Like, do you get any follows? Like, what comes from that? Like, what the fuck? I don't get people. Um, Jangle TV, I'm enjoying it so far. Yeah, it's it's in a good testing state, I guess is what I'll say. Um, I think it's important to distinguish between testing and playing. Maybe we combine the two and say play testing. It's in a good play testing state. It's finally in a place where we actually can do some things and give some important feedback. So, do you know how much the block percentage is from non-shield weapons? I do not off the top of my head. Um, has been fun in groups. Yeah, definitely. So you can solo for sure. It's going to take you a while though. I think soloing is a decent way to level, probably up until maybe level 6, 7, maybe. Definitely as you get to 8, 9, 10, things start to like change and how much experience you need to level, and so you're going to want to be in a group. The other thing I would say is if you are soloing or if you're in a group, is to do the events. Events give you quite a lot of experience. So solo is not fun. Not forever. I would agree. Solo is not like a. I don't know that I want to always solo, but I think you can challenge yourself soloing a little bit, right? I'm gonna go try to kill this fucking mob. It's probably has a good chance of eating me, but I'm gonna see what I can do. Like I think you can challenge yourself a little bit. Is solo leveling as a tank viable? To a degree, yes. Early on, I think so. I think as you get to later levels, one of the two main complaints about tank, I don't know if it's a complaint, but things I've heard are that soloing is not as viable as other classes, and then that the DPS is not as good either. But you're a tank, so I don't know. Fupo, do you really care if you have much DPS? I mean, you're a tank. Um, but you certainly can solo some. I think it just depends on how long you want it to take you, basically. At level 5, 6, I still get experience from like level 2 stuff. So, I mean, you're still getting experience gain. It's just, it's going to take you very, very long time to do it on your own. So, solo to level 4 or 5 groups. Yeah, I mean, groups are good. So you definitely want to. I will say if you have any sort of interest in crafting, you're also going to want to be a part of a guild. So I think the idea of processing and crafting by yourself is not one that's going to really work. So are there DPS meters? Nope, there are not DPS meters. There are no plans to be DPS meters, I don't believe. If you look at the sky, it looks incredible for sure. I'm really excited when they do constellations and all that gets working. That'll be a lot of fun. The game will have 100K players tomorrow, or no, I think from what we've been told, the last thing we were told from Steven was 100K tomorrow. Um, but we assume it's more than that because he told us that a while back. Um, and then they had the sort of, hey, we're stopping key sales, and then they reopened key sales. So Sky looked amazing. Yeah. See what? No DPS meters. What? No. Yeah, I think the hope is that to win encounters, that it's not going to be entirely because of DPS, basically, right? That they want encounters to actually require sort of intelligent does thought and sort of planning ahead of time as much as possible rather than just pure burn shit down. I missed something else that Penumbra, what did you say? People are generally stupid, you know that. That is true. That is very true. I won't go into that rant, but there are certainly some dumbasses out there. So I wouldn't say generally, but there are quite a few. I hope someone does comparison videos for the start and end of each phase. That is a great idea. I think I will steal that idea from you. So, um, let's see. On my two-handed sword, it said blocks all frontal incoming damage and consumes 100% of damage as stamina. Yeah, although then your stamina's drained, so that would be the downside to that. I don't know. With a two-hander, I didn't do much blocking. I just tried to kill shit. So maybe I'm doing it wrong. I don't know. The fighter, I just ran in and started swinging. That was my fun time with the fighter. What is hands down the best solo class for those of us that have antisocial habits? Ooh, that's a great question. I think part of that will depend on who you ask. I think the majority of people though would either tell you to go cleric or bard. Cleric or bard are both very good at soloing. Um, right now my play style with the cleric, for example, you start out with a smite spell, you start out with your weapon damage, and you also have a heal that's essentially an instant cast heal and a 3-second cooldown. So it's a um, pretty easy to start soloing from the start, which um, just continues to get so as you level up and continue adding more skills. So the bard is just also a lot of fun. I think one of the coolest part of the bards is the ability to slide around. It's more so the movement that you have as a bard feels really fucking cool. It's a lot of fun. So yeah, Penumbra says bard 100%. I mean, I think most people would probably say that. I've heard a fair amount also say cleric, but um, yeah, cleric is it's just as good at solo. You eventually you have a couple of very instant type heals, and if you and they scale with your oh shit, I'm forgetting the stat magic something, but if you really spec into that, I mean you're pretty self sufficient. Um, and like I said, if you use my when I'm fighting stuff now, I'll usually pull them with a spell that applies burn. They run up to me while they're running up to me. I'm hitting them with a spellbook auto attack that eventually has a finisher that I think I selected chill, so they get chilled. I then will smite them, and the smite turns the burn into a conflagration. And then I switch over to the mace, and the weapon attack for that is to stagger them. So it's a pretty effective series of attacks that really doesn't leave me very prone to damage. Um, and if I do take damage, I have a couple of instant spells that are, um, you know, pretty good at bringing me back up. So, any quick rundown of how to start as a crafter? Most people are having trouble with it, from what I can tell. Well, number one, it's going to be a while till you can start as a crafter. Um, the whole process takes a while. I don't know. I would say if you really are intent on being a crafter, you need to be a part of a guild. And because what you're going to have to end up having to be any kind of effective in creating stuff is you're going to have a funnel of materials, a funnel of processed goods, and so you're really going to be a part of a guild to do that. They have improved the time it takes to process stuff. It used to take a minute per item, so if you were trying to process 30 logs, it would take 30 minutes. That has all been cut in half. So the processing time is better, but there is still um, a big time disconnect there. Harvesting, running around and harvesting shit goes really quick, right? That you can fill up your bags really fast. Actually processing that into something that's usable can take time, and also processing stuff takes multiple items from different people too. Um, so as an example, to make lettuce, which you need for one of the foods recipes. You have to have um, a bought item. You have to have the seed. You also have to have fertilizer. Well, fertilizer actually takes a drop from monsters that is called droppings. And so there's a lot of sub combines that lead ultimately to that final crafted thing. And so crafting is not going to get mastered by any means overnight. Honestly, even if somebody has a pretty strong guild, I think it's going to take a fair amount of time to really master crafting. Um, I think what you'll see, anybody that's a guild leader that's starting, I would tell you to probably have more of your people work on processing than anything else, because that is currently the bottleneck for everything. So processing also costs quite a bit of coin. That's the other thing is really the cost to you to create a crafted item. It's not insignificant. It takes a fair amount of money. So mobility on to escape on Bard is awesome. Yes, the movement with Bard is fucking awesome. Is there any current live MMORPG that has similar combat? Um, I don't know. Yeah, Throne and Liberty. Yeah, I would say it's pretty close. Um, you have to be careful on splash damage, I will say. So when trying to pull a mob from a group or from nearby, if there's like a pack of three or three close by and I'm trying to get one, I have to be a little bit careful on what I use. If I use the spell book, it tends to have splash damage that will grab the other people around it and I don't mean for it to. So you have to be a little bit careful. The other thing is people will start telling you to use auto attack. You have to go into the settings. Auto attack is off by default. I do think it works better to have it turned on, but I still think that auto attack is going to be the start of many wars to come in Ashes of Creation because you will accidentally hit other people. I did it many times. Cleric is also able to res during combat. That's true. Yes. Um, is there a way to avoid hitting other players with action combat? Yeah, I mean you do have to be purple, right? So you do have to flag. Um, so you do have to be a little bit careful about that. Do you get less experience in a group? I don't think so. Fupo says also recipes. That is true. There are a lot of recipe drops. So you do have to find a lot of stuff just from around the area to be able to even craft it. Um, the whole crafting loop is really, 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 really infant right now. I think that's why they have so many item drops off of monsters, is because there's still a lot of work to be done with crafting. Um, does a spear have more reach than daggers? Um, you know what? I'm trying to think if I've actually used a spear. I don't know that I've actually used the spear. Not enough, anyways, to tell you the answer to that. Monster poop. Yep, that's what it is. Droppings. You got to collect a lot of droppings. Hopefully, you'll find the uncommon droppings or even the rare droppings. Did you switch over to Resna or sticking with Lenneth? Well, tomorrow they should open back up all three. So I will be going to Vera tomorrow. I think that's how, is that how Steven says it? Fupo, is it Vera or Vira? I assumed it's Vera to be close to Vera, but I think Vera is where most of RP guilds are going. I think it's just going to be a less overall sweaty guild, or sorry, sweaty realm. And I'm not really looking to get in a ton of PvP fights right away. So let's see. What else have I missed? Um, do you think melee weapons should have different amounts of reach? Yes, I do. I would say yes. I do not want to say without a pronunciation guide. I don't know if it's. I don't know how they intend for us to say that. It's spelled weird. Vyra. I assume it's Vera. Yes, I do, but I do think melee weapons should have different amounts of reach. I don't think you should be able to have the same range with daggers as you would with the spear. Um, I think there needs to be motivation to use different weapons. So, and that would be one of them. But I'm very excited. Hey, Fupo, I was curious. I don't know if you can answer this. It's too late for me to ping Margaret, and she's probably busy. I thought it might be fun to actually show some of the bug reports, but I didn't know if I would get in trouble for that. I know there's no NDA for written and verbal communication, but they do say visual. I assume that visual is just the game, but I didn't want to show anything I wasn't supposed to. So I say it as Wyra. Really? Where do you get the W? Wyra. I don't get that, man. There's a V there. How does the V turn into a Y? Or sorry, a W? As of now, it was closer to BDO, aka fishing. Or AFK. Yes, yeah, fishing right now is AFKs. You can't sit forever AFK though, it will log you out. So you also might die. You know, somebody might try to decide just to kill you. But can talk about them, probably would not show anything physically. Yeah, that was my I wondered. I don't want to get in trouble. Say it as Vera, but it's a Y. How do you get? I mean, wouldn't you spell it that way if it was Vera? Just spell it VEERA. I mean, I don't know. Hawaiians and Germans turn V's into W's. I guess. Yeah. I mean, maybe that's me being an idiot. Probably got ganked fishing. Yeah, that's you do have to be careful with that. Um, I think everybody's first instinct is, oh, I can do this AFK. I'm gonna go get something to eat, and then the next thing you know, you're sitting at an ember spring somewhere because you had to respawn. So um, I do hope they improve fishing though. It's again, I think it's the Russian pronunciation. Death sounds are so dramatic. Death in general in this game is just very dramatic. So um, New World, I thoroughly enjoyed the fishing of New World, and I really hope that they take something from that and apply it to Ashes. Make it better, but apply some of it to Ashes. How would you pronounce? Um, I would say that's a Zicarus. I'm trying to make sure you're not trying to like trick my dumbass into saying something that I shouldn't say on stream because then I would be fucked. So, um, yeah, that's how I would say that. So, I mean, I don't know. Well, we can say Vera. That's fine. I don't really care anymore. Xi like pie, cares, and care, ris. Really? That's how you say that? Okay, that's fine. Um, with so much promise regarding C content, I hope they add more to. Yeah, I mean, I think they will. I don't know if Planendorf can give any hints to that, but I can't imagine that this is the final iteration of fishing. So I would much rather it be active. Um, you really life and stuff. You really shouldn't be dying, right? Like the death sounds. You need to avoid that just altogether. A wizard sets head on a swivel. Yeah, I mean, right now a lot of people are paranoid. Again, I've actually not been really. The only person that has PK'd me is Richie, which is why we put a bounty on his head yesterday. Um, which he did complain to me about, by the way. I got a ping in Discord like, announced a bounty to all the viewers. Like, well, yeah, Richie has killed me multiple times. So, um, although I said this yesterday, be mindful. Sometimes if it's actually not Richie, sometimes it's Rive. Rive Genesis likes to make characters name Richie and then go kill people so that they will blame Richie. He has admitted to that. So I think people will love the combat once you get used to it. Yeah, I mean, right now I would say combat's probably the best part of the game. Um, hands down for me right now. If you asked me what's the sort of best system or the best thing about Ashes right now, it would 100% be combat, um, which I think is important, right? Because you need to have the stuff to do. That's why we have the um, lawless zones so that people can PvP and so that it feels good. So what was your reaction thoughts going through your head when you saw the amount of people in line hold? Ah, you missed it. I was commenting on that. I did not spend much time today in the world just because I don't know, I don't want to burn out, and the servers are gonna get raced anyways. Um, but I logged in to Lionhold. Holy shit! All my monitors just went fucking crazy. What is going on? Can you guys still see me? Holy shit! Am I still live? All right, I think I'm still live. All of my monitors just went fucking crazy. Um, that was weird. So that was all right. I'm gonna have to send a log. So Planendorf, buddy, this is what I've had before that I think is the VRAM issue, because I still have Ashes open in the background. All my monitors went black just there, so and flashed a few times. That was really fucked up. What was I even talking about now? Oh, logging in to see people. So, yeah, um, so logging in, that is the most people I've ever seen in Vera, and that was amazing to see. That was absolutely great. Um, am I still freezing? My computer's back to normal, I think. Um, but yeah, it was crazy. That is the most I've ever seen in one area of Ashes of Creation, and it was great. Absolutely wonderful to see. Some of the names are stupid, but whatever. People like to pick dumbass names. I guess I don't really have much to say. I am running around with an X on the end of my name, but you know. So I'm really curious to see what it's like tomorrow. We were debating that whether there would be more people when the servers go live tomorrow, or where there will be more people tonight. Yeah. Yes. They have asked me for my logs, so I've sent the yeah. Um, I think most of what I've saw is interestingly, like everyone that I knew that had the similar problem, we all had AMD processors, but NVIDIA video cards. That seemed to be like the commonality between us. What happened to good fantasy names? Yeah, I can tell you the history of my name, actually. So I'm a comic book nerd, in addition to a nerd of other things as well. And I don't know how many people are really into Marvel comics. There's a character named Phantom X, which has sort of multiple versions of themselves, which again, I'm in the mental health space, so that kind of fits with my profession. Um, and I started like not being allowed to use a copyrighted name. So I was told, um, actually, what really made me change it, and people might laugh at this, but I asked some of the devs on Pantheon whether I'd be allowed to use the name, and they were like, probably not. So that's where I got this really fucked up sort of version of Phantom X. If you want to know where that comes from, so um, all comes from a comic book. So Danny Phantom from Nickelodeon, and now I just can I take that name? Can I just be Danny Phantom X? I'd rather just be Daddy Phantom X. We'll just do that instead. Yes, that is the origin story. That is where the name came from. Um, I like Phantom more, but most of the times that name is taken. Even that version of the spelling is taken. So, does everything in the spot test reset for tomorrow? Yes. Oh, you already got answered that. So I'm catching up. Yes, it all gets reset. So you can go out and grind if you want, but it's all going to be gone tomorrow. So your naming convention's weird. How's your naming convention weird? What makes it weird? Water is not working. What's wrong with water? I guess I didn't pay attention to water tonight. I really did just log in to see who all. I wanted to know how many people were around and whether or not I was lagging at all. So, which I really wasn't lagging much at all. Which race am I playing? I'm not really locked into any of them right now. So, um, I'll probably do a Vec primarily, but I don't know. I've never been someone that really gets connected to that sort of character creator creation process. Um, we'll see if that changes once we actually have a good creator, character creator. But um, got the full experience hitting level 3, killing a red. Oh, you got to kill a red player, partying up with randoms as well. Yeah, man, that's what this is all about. So, um, glad you got to kill a red player. Hopefully they had some good shit on them. I don't know how many of you watched our interview with Steven. He told a hilarious story about he got PK'd and went back and hunted down the person and got a really nice piece of no, really nice weapon from them. So, can you explain the combat, please? How do you do combo attacks, and what is attack weave like between skills? There's actually a lot of interesting settings that I would tell you to look at. First of all, in the combat section of the settings panel, um, there's a lot of things you can actually change to help your combat feel a little bit better based off what you're doing. There's even like a soft lock. I would look through that. The combat itself, I primarily do tab targeting. I'm not a big action combat. Well, number one, there's not really. I don't think there's true action combat right now. You do have your action cam, which I think some people enjoy. The action cam works really well with the fighter, for example. I think it also kind of works. There. Well, I think it kind of works with the cleric a little bit too. Although I started this, I did. I guess today was messing around with the soft lock for the cleric, which actually seemed to kind of work pretty well. But most people in combat are probably using the tab target version. The combo attacks are just, your finishers are just off of your normal weapon attacks. So, as you're swinging your sword, it's going through a number of swings, and that then triggers a finisher. And you can, through your weapon skills, increases the chance. You can select a bunch of different skills like increasing damage, increasing, the length of whatever finisher you have, increasing the likelihood of the finisher. Um, is there ever a time where I felt like I should be swapping out weapons? Yes. Again, yes. I think you should think about. I think I would look at combining weapons that make sense for whatever you're trying to do. Um, so again, as the cleric, I would actually pull initially with a spell book, and then I would finish the fight with my sword and mace. And so doing that, I did get multiple finishers that worked together, along with the skills that I had. So I do think it actually you should look at potentially combining weapon attacks, and you're allowed to switch weapons mid combat, so you're able to do that. You can have the Bill the Butcher mustache. Yeah. Um, I don't know. I want to know where the character creator is. We were supposed to get that before Alpha 2, but it's not here yet. So, um, yes, Penumbra, it was the +9 necklace. That's right. You're correct. Yes. And then Stephen being Stephen announced in global chat, asked who was missing this necklace that I just found. So um, I can't wait to see Stephen in game. He owes me a 1v1. So I don't know if I'll ever get it, but I'm going to try my best to get it from him. So, so the server's still up, still having a ton of fun. Yeah, I mean, enjoy your time. Like I said, it will get wiped. So, I don't know that I'd spend a lot of time on one character. I'd maybe try a bunch of different characters right now and see what you want to be your sort of first main character. Do you get any rewards for killing others in PvP? You get the joy of telling them you killed them. There are a lot of systems that still need a lot of implementation. So, when anyone dies, you do get to loot their materials, right? So that's one of the things you will get. And that's even if you die to a PVE as well. So there have been multiple times where I overextended myself and I died to something in the world, not a player, but just something I was trying to kill. And when I finally got back to my body, everything was missing. So people were able to steal my stuff. Stolen Glint is in though. I will say that I have stolen Glint from people. It is red, so you have to be careful about where you sell it. Um, could you tell us a little bit about finishers, extended deadly extended finishers? Gosh, there are so many finishers. I don't know if there's a specific one. I mean, you're effectively just, you're going to choose a weapon and you're going to choose the type of finisher to start with. Um, so each weapon will have a certain selection that you can choose as your finisher. And then from that, you'll be able to augment things like how much damage it does. I think I've seen armor penetration. If it's something like chilled or stagger, like you can increase the length of time that it's like that. Um, you'll get to change your finisher. You just the I guess the tooltips could be better. Um, yeah, the finisher is the end of a weapon combo. Yeah, yes, it comes at the end of your swings. Looted a horse off of a player corpse. Really? That's nice. Was it a good horse? There are some mounts in right now that look pretty fucking cool. The other day I had a GM run by me. I don't know who it was. I did not see their name. And Lionhold went like flying by me on the coolest fucking looking thing. I don't know what it was. I hadn't seen it before, but was just mounted and it said GM as they were running by. The starter horse does suck right now, so yeah, horse from a corpse. It's for dinner, Fupo. That's what's for dinner. Horse meat. That have never heard from. Are you all right, Fupo? Are you okay? We doing all right? I see. I thought somebody was mentioning Steven. Where was that at? Betting Steven he will cheat. Yes. He will use his GM commands or he will raise his level. He will laugh at you as he sits at 1 health point and proceeds to kill you. Can you link stuff in chat? No. You are not able to link stuff in chat. What else is in there? Everyone hating on the early horse. He's trying his best. Okay. Well, it's true, Planendorf. It's slow. I mean, I can sprint, right? The same speed as the horse. I just can't always sprint. So, does the bard outrun the horse? I was told the bard outruns the horse. Is that true? Is there player trading? Yes. Yes, you can player trade. Um, Actually, I've met many nice people that actually give me a lot of have given me a lot of shit, gold and items and stuff. So yes, you can 100% trade. And it's set up pretty well. You actually have to approve it twice, so it's kind of hard for people to try to steal shit from you by trading. The other white meat, yes, is horse meat white? I don't know. Is it the other white meat? Sprint is 135%, and the starter horse is 130%. Wow. Okay. But you get it continuously. I guess that's the perk. You don't have to worry about a stamina to regen up. I think horses should be slower. No. What's the point then? I mean, you might as well kill it and eat it. What is the point of having a slow horse? Please explain yourself, Fupo. Does the game allow you to reskill or change skills when selected? Yes, it's pretty easy to change your stuff. I actually found Steven in game. He was AFK for a while, then flew away on no mount. That's great. That's hilarious. Flew away on no mount. Did you screenshot that? I mean, I know you can't share anything right now, but please say you screenshotted that. I would love to see him flying away on no mount. Um, yeah, you feel free to yeah, I think I answered and you did too. Thanks there in chat. I mean, you can feel free to reskill all you want. You get to play around, and that's what I would encourage you to do. So when you log in, you're going to have a starter weapon, right? That's kind of class specific, but all around the room is all of the other weapons. So I would encourage you just to pick one of everything up: daggers, spears, bows, shields, whatever, spell books, and carry them with you, and just play around with it. Just see what kind of weird shit you get. You never know what kind of combination might work out best for you. So, are you able to edit character post creation? No, I do not believe so. Some characters get bricked a little bit sometimes right now though, so you might get the chance to make a new one. Are the current servers as bad as they were in previous tests? I don't think so. I guess it depends on what you compare it to. Um, Again, Node Wars. So Node Wars and pre-alpha 2 spot testing were very similar, in that the first few tests were terrible. The servers were just awful. They just were. But the team does a really great job at iterating and improving, and so really over a couple of weeks things improved quite a bit. And actually, I expected yesterday to be pretty awful, just with the amount of people coming in to stress test the servers. But the truth was, yesterday afternoon the servers felt the best that they've ever felt for me. So, and I think Planendorf did say that they actually did add a patch prior to the test. So I think servers are holding up kind of okay. There are still some problems. I mean, there's mob stuff that mobs go unresponsive, and I think people were saying when they try to PvP, sometimes the hits weren't registering for like several seconds. So there's little stuff like that, but they I don't believe I've seen any servers go down, any server workers. I don't know if that can be confirmed by anyone, but I don't think I've seen any server crash, any realm crashes or server crashes. What are some of yours and people's best recommended keybinds? The only keybind that I've changed was for the auto attack. It's kind of in a really weird spot. I think natively it's the Q button, and I like to move quite a. To me it's just in a really I don't like it being on Q. So I did actually remap that to I have it on the middle mouse button. I find it easier just to actually to use that. But again, if you turn on auto attack, um, it should just swing right away. I would recommend, if you're in action cam, I would make sure you have the auto attack on. So I would not have auto attack on if you're purple. So if you do go purple to PvP and you're done PvPing, I would make sure not auto attack stuff, because you will accidentally hit people. I still can't wait for the wars that come out of accidents. That'll be hilarious to see. Do you know if respecing is a feature only in alpha? I think you'll be able to respec it. Actually, I know Steven has said yes, you'll be able to respec in the game once it's released. I do not think it's going to be like it is now. It's not going to be something where you can just respec on the fly like you can. He has said it will require quite a bit of work and some time. I don't know what that means, but you're going to have to do a little bit of extra stuff to be able to re reskill in the future. The default controls hurt a bit. Yeah, they do. I think one of the first things you should do is to just go into your controls and see what works for you and what doesn't. Use middle mouse for dodge. Oh, that's actually not a bad idea. I wonder if I could then remove. I wonder where I'd put the auto attack then. I'll have to think about that. That's actually not a bad suggestion. Thank you. How do you change your camera? It's a keybind. I'm trying to remember what it is. I can't remember if it's Z or X, or I'd have to look back through what the actual key is to flip in and out of tab target and action cam. Z, yes, Z. Why are you guys still pushing this game? This game is dead before release. I mean, it didn't look dead to me. Today was the most people I've ever seen in the fucking game. I don't know what that is about. I don't know how that's dead. I mean, today had crazy amount of people in there when I logged in. So Didn't look dead unless I'm playing in a gray, in a cemetery somewhere. I don't know. Why do you think the game is dead on release? I want you to tell me. Demagogue X. Oh, you're like me. You have an X at the end of your name. So we're gonna work on this. So why do you think the game is dead? I don't understand that argument. It's like I don't under the. It's equally like I don't understand the argument of how the game is a scam. Like it's still being created. How is it? It's not a scam. Nobody's stolen anything at this point. Like I don't understand how it's a scam. So how is it dead? I will wait for you to answer. You don't like Z as the keybind. Yeah. The good thing is you can change it. So can you have an auto attack for Ranger? Yes. Should we? Here's a question, everyone. So we have Richie, and what was the other guy's name? Shit, what was it? Am I miss? Yeah, N3C. So if you see Richie or you see N3C tomorrow, kill them. Should Demagogue X also be a kill on site? I don't know. Maybe not. I haven't heard his opinion as to why it's dead on release yet. So maybe we should wait for that. Um, yeah, it's just like last night. Some people don't want this game to succeed. Yeah, some people just like to hate to hate. So, um, people are bitchy and bored and don't have much going on in their life, so they want to make sure everyone else feels the same shit they feel. Basically, it's kind of sad. I can help you. Certainly hit me up in a DM. That starts to get into my realm of professional treatment. So I can help you out if you want. You'll join in November. Yeah, hopefully by then we'll have the servers in a pretty good place for you. So yeah, why are you still clicking on AOC streams if the game is dead? That's very true. Probably to get a rise, which I'm not going to get a rise. So if I can live through Narc calling me Fat Max on stream multiple times and telling me I'm an idiot in front of 400 people, then I'm not going to worry about what was your name? Demagogue X. Had a good day of bashing servers today. Well, good, good. That's the whole point. I got in for a little bit, but I didn't stay super long. I just wanted to see what everybody else was doing. So um, it was great to see everyone running around, though. I'm nervous Richie will be too easy of a kill and get called a. No, Richie is. Don't let Richie fool you. Richie knows what he's doing. Um, he puts off these nice little YouTube videos, and he looks all wholesome, and he has this voice that, looks like, some good nice boy that's sitting here in the corner playing video games. Richie is a demon, so you just know that he will kill you, and he will not be sad about it. So hopefully everyone knows I actually love Richie, but the truth is he will kill you and he will not care. So I actually we had a mount bug. This was before the stress test, where if you got off your mount, and then you tried to resummon your mount, it wouldn't appear. Like it would go through the whole motion and you'd have the whistling sound, but the mount would not appear anywhere. It was a clear bug. And so I told him, like, well, I'm going to go run off. I intended to go to a pack of higher level mobs to try to fight them and die. I wanted to see how far I could kill them before how far I could get them down before I died. And so I started running away, and he killed me. He stabbed me in the back. So that is Richie. The Planendorf, the queue has worked. The queue seemed to go okay. I know there were some quirks. I think some people were getting stuck and had to recreate characters, but my queue seemed to work very well. I am curious why they did 3 servers today rather than 6. I assumed it's because they wanted a better representation of the queue. Because yesterday, I know getting on Vera, there was no queue. So no server crashes, but a lot of good data on GPUs. Yes. Had issues logging back into the same characters. Yeah, that's kind of happened off and on for a little bit. You had an issue where the queue was going backwards. That's hilarious. How far backwards did it get? I'm not gonna. I know there's some other comments that came about Narc. I don't want to get into the whole negativity thing with him. That's actually kind of why I left the community. I will leave it with positivity, like I did yesterday, and say that I have had a chance to raid with Narc, and Narc is actually a wonderful raid leader. So I have no doubt that his guild will do pretty well, and I will leave it there. Went from 740, 750, 756. That is the wrong way. I hope you reported that bug. Uh, this was my first time being in the game today, but I already can tell this will probably be the best world I've experienced in a game. The scale of your character to the world, it feels perfect to me. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And thinking, when you think about the world too, it's really not. I mean, really, even the Riverlands isn't done. Um, you still have how many? 18 biomes in total. There's still so much that's missing, and it already feels and looks good. So, um, I think part of that, to their credit, Intrepid started off largely as just artists. I think most of their initial hires were sort of the people that create the world. So um, that's why things look good. I heard Jamie's Chaos's guild gave Narc's guild hell. Did they? I have not talked today. I've not talked to Jamie about it today. Um, I don't know what Narc's is. His guild. What is it? Copium Kitties Club or Kitty Copium Club or something like that. I think that's what he's always called his guild. I was actually in his guild for a little bit. He invited me into his guild, and then I logged in one day and I was kicked out, and I don't know why. I still don't know why. I was just kicked out. So, like, all right, that's cool. Copium Kitty, yes, the Copium Kitty Club, I think is what he has typically called it. Um, what else? A lot of bug hunting. Terrible time with the EAC not installed. Um, I've seen a lot of positive stuff about people's first experiences, which I think is a good thing. I think we've all had concerns. Stephen kind of addressed this a little bit when I heard him talk about it. I think he disagrees with us, but I think um, there has been some concern that a lot of the most of the live streams that they've done, the showcases have looked really good, and I think obviously that's intentional. They want to show a good product. As he says, they want to get feedback. I think the side effect to that is that then makes people expect a really good world, and Ashes just isn't there yet. It will be. It just isn't. The content just isn't there. But I do think over the last 3-4 months, Steven and team have been doing their absolute best to say bug, 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 alpha, alpha, alpha. And I do think you see people kind of listening more than I think they would have, 5-6 months ago, which is hopefully good. Inevitably, there'll be people bitch and complain, but um, that will always happen. Is the visual NDA lifted? No, not until tomorrow. Certainly do not stream or post anything. Somebody was streaming earlier today. I guess they said 100 minutes and got kicked out. So I don't know who it was. But yeah, somebody was streaming today. I still don't understand that. You wait all this fucking time, you spend money, and then you can't wait another, what, 16 hours, 12 hours, whatever it is, 24 hours. I don't know. Maybe they didn't realize that the uh, visual NDA wasn't there. I mean, you do have to sign the shit when you log in. So, game looks amazing if you have the hardware to run an ultra cinematic. That yes, I think a lot of the visual feedback that people give for like why does it look the way, because there's been a lot of comments like you'll see about oh, the game looks like shit, it looks like trash. I think a lot of that's just because they're streaming on Twitch, and so Twitch just not a great presentation. But yeah, like I run on Ultra, and I think the world looks really really good. So um, especially the lighting, like if you hit the lighting just right, sometimes like it looks fucking crazy good. Um, the anti-aliasing solution is ick. Um, yeah, I mean there's still a lot of work to do. Um, when they turn on DLSS, so that was also a night and day difference during Node Wars. when they were finally able to let us turn on DLSS, that actually helped performance a lot. So game is really fun so far. It looks really good considering it's an alpha. Yeah. Yeah, I mean it does look good. I also think that, to be fair, it's Unreal 5. I have yet to see a game on Unreal 5 that looks like shit. Unreal 5 just looks good. I actually think we're getting to a point where, we historically, I think a lot of us have always judged a game based off of how it looks. And I think you're getting to a point with Unreal 5 and then eventually Unreal 6 that visuals don't matter as much anymore because games are just going to look good naturally. So like I said, it does look good, but I think I would not expect a UE5 game to look like shit. So people don't read. Yeah, I feel like that's partly wrong. People need to read more books. Yeah, I agree. Books are wonderful. We have a shit ton of books in our house. So about anything you can think of, we probably have. I actually have the weirdest book I have is Scientology. I have two of their textbooks. Apologies if there are any Scientologists here, but I think your religion is really fucking wacky. But I do have two of their textbooks. A house that I used to live in many years ago, actually the first house I owned in Nashville, when we moved in, for whatever reason, there were two Scientology books in there, and so I kept them. What I think is fucking hilarious about it is that Scientology, I don't even know how I'm getting, oh, it's because of the reading comment. Scientology thinks that psychiatry or mental health is bullshit. But when you read through their textbooks, it's like their texts are entirely psychology. Like it's all application of known psychological theories, which is just hilarious that, anyways, sidetrack there. But Piers Anthony, I don't think so. Tell me one and I'll go look it up. I'm level 4. What should I do? Grind. There's probably not going to be any quests for you to do anymore. You could do some commissions, I guess. Once you get to a node, you can do some stuff for the mayor. But well, once the nodes are ready to go. But right now, you're just in grind. So, are you south? Where are you at in the world? So if you travel south, like you'll continue through progressively challenging things. So you should see level 4, level 5, level 6 shit that you can kill. Again, I really don't think you should try to move out to anything like Winstead or Miralath or any of that until you're probably level 7 or 8. Um, and also keep in mind the leveling. It's like this. So you're going to get your first 4, 5, 6 levels pretty quick. We've done the math on this, I think somewhere. I think Rive has. Um, Once you hit, I want to say level 9, it's either 8 or 9. It goes like this. Like the amount of experience you need goes up tremendously. And so, that's where your 100 hours comes in. How did the test go a while ago? I think it's been all okay. There's a lot of interesting bugs to look at in the forums if you're curious about some stuff. But I think there's some that just kind of make me laugh. What time am I stream? I am hopefully streaming as soon as the servers go live. I made the decision to stay home tomorrow. So, um, just finished grinding goblins to 4. Yeah, I mean, if you move out farther, you're going to see higher level wolves. I think you probably can get into some wolves that are 5 or 6, actually, if you continue moving. I guess it depends on which way you went through the goblins, if you went straight or turned right. There should be, the next thing you should be able to fight, though, are wolves and ravens. Eventually, you'll find some bears that are 6 or 7, but they're going to be 1 star, so you'll want to be careful a little bit about that. Actually, if you go to the right, so as you're funneled through south, or is it north? No, you're funneled through north. It's north. If you take a right, those goblins are all levels 2, 3, and 4. If you keep going through that pack, you'll come to an event that actually has level 5 and 6, which also offers a lot of really good experience. So they've also dropped a lot of really good items. So, how much harder is it to grind solo? Because I like grinding solo. I mean, it will be harder. Um, the first 10 levels I think are going to probably feel okay, but after that, it would probably be more effective to be in a group. But I would say if you're going to be solo, I would try to grind where you can get into some regular events, because events do tend to give you pretty good experience. So, although several events are bugged right now, so they don't always work. But I would do that as a group too. But if you're definitely a solo, I would look for an area that spawns events periodically that you can jump into. Is there any EXP penalty? No, not that I've seen. What effectively happens is the amount of EXP stays the same, but the total required EXP goes up each level. So, I mean, the total percentage you're getting per kill goes down. The actual number itself stays the same. Do we know what the end game loop is like? I don't think so. A lot of it's going to center on PvP, right? PVX, I guess, would be your end game loop. I mean, there'll be raids, there'll be instance content, but I don't think, and Steven has said this, not to expect WoW or Final Fantasy like instance stuff. They're not going for mythics and things like that. So, I think your end game loop is going to center around economy and PVX and trying to destroy nodes, basically. How is the XP shared between two non-party players? I don't think it is shared. Right now, first person gets everything. First person to hit. I think the intent is to who does the most damage, but right now it's just first person to hit the target gets the target, gets everything from it. What else? What is that? Brain surgeon privileges. I don't know. I ain't a brain surgeon. But yeah, I think I already answered this. I'll be streaming at 12. It's 12 my time. 12 Central. Um, Level 4 Scientology. If you ever get a chance, read one of their books. It really is kind of fucked up. But then again, a lot of religious texts are. So, all right. Anything else? Any questions? Any comments? I'm about coming up to 2 hours, so I might move on to what is better known as bed here soon. Um, Anything else I can do before we start in the morning? I guess I might go live prior to the servers coming up. It sort of depends. I maybe can pop on an hour or two beforehand and kind of chat before we actually hit the servers. What is one thing you like about the game so far? One thing you wish they would change? Ooh, it's a good question. Again, I think the best thing about the game right now is the combat. I really do. I think the combat is in a really good spot. It's only 25 levels, so they still have 25 more and a lot more skills to implement. But right now, it feels really good. What is one thing I wish they would change? Ooh, I have a salty answer for that, and it's something that's actually not even in right now. Can I? Is that okay? Do I get to use that? I wish they would. I wish they would rethink freeholds a little bit and how they do that. We have had. I've had the ability to interview Steven 4 times since we've had our show, the Ashen Forge, on Sundays, and the first two. I mean, I specifically asked him, if I put in the work, I wasn't asking for a freehold, but I said if I put in the work, will I get to have a freehold? And the answer was yes. And so that's what I operated on forever. And then they've kind of tweaked how freeholds will work. And so I'm actually pretty sure I'm not going to get a freehold of my own anymore, which is a little bit disappointing. But like I said, it's going to be a while before we have freeholds. So I don't know if I can pick that or not. I wish they would set the launcher so that we have more control. Yeah, I know I can talk. It's just a visual. The way they do PTR is also kind of weird. Although I think they might have changed that. Um, you had to actually completely close out the launcher to change between PTR and just the regular Alpha 2 server, which was kind of weird. You'll get me a freehold. Well, I feel like the answer. So when you talk to him, he still says that yes, you can get a freehold, but I think it's a little bit of a cop out because now the answer has shifted. It's shifted to, well, if you have enough money, you can just go buy a freehold. It's like, well, that's not what I asked you several years ago. It's like if I did the work, would I be able to get a freehold? So And I get it. There's probably some world and server limitations and things that require that, so that it is limited in amount, and I understand that, but still, it's still one that I get a little salty of over a little bit. So, um, but if you can get me a freehold, I would appreciate that. I do like that it appears we're going to be able to use friends and guilds freeholds quite a bit. So I guess there's kind of a trade off. Really need to change the font and default scale of the words on the UI. Yeah, I've heard that said by many people. Um, was the rations vendor disabled? Um, I don't know. I don't know if that's intended to be that way. I don't think it should have been. What snacks am I prepping for tomorrow? Shit, coffee probably. Is that a snack? Coffee and Coke Zero. That'll probably be my snack. Coffee, Coke Zero, and cheese. I don't really do like a bunch of other shit. I don't do like Doritos. I don't do Monsters or any of that shit. So I think did somebody ask about a guild? I'm sorry, I'm trying to get to all the questions. It might have been a little while back, and I just realized I meant to answer it, and I did not. Um, we do, I think, plan to have a Theory Forge guild. It will not be anywhere close to a sweaty guild. Like it's a bunch of casual. It'll probably mostly be friends of ours, which anybody can join. I mean, if anybody wants to hang out with us, that's fine. Um, since we've been doing Theory Forge for 10 years, like we do have a core group of people that we've really kind of known and played games with over that period of time. Um, and so that's kind of who would be in that guild with us. So I do think though we'll try to do some alliances, like um, Genesis, for example. I've done a lot with Richie and Rive, and so I think if they would have us as an alliance, we would definitely do that. So, but I mean, you're welcome to hang out with us. I'll chat and play with anybody that wants to. You don't even have to be in a guild with me tomorrow. Um, if you're thinking of largely going to an boy, I think you are largely going to end up fighting other players in guilds for freehold plots. Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's it's that whole risk versus reward thing. Um, yeah, the close knit guilds, yeah, it's fun. I mean, we really do have a core group that we've played games with for quite a long, and it's a small group. I mean, we're talking less than a dozen people, but it's fun. So I'm realistic. I actually we I did the Golden Feather Tavern. Um, they're a group, Chibi and Vertec. They do a show. Look them up on YouTube. They're really great people. They actually haven't been able to stream or do much anymore recently because of the hurricane that came over their house and kind of damaged their house. So when they get up and running, definitely go check out the Golden Feather Tavern. But they actually did a guild summit that I was a part of, and I was very direct with what my expectations were with our guild, which was essentially we're just here to have fun. I'm not trying to do anything important. So, do you think the devs will get pissed if I'm giving feedback through the bug command? Not bugs, but feedback. I would try not to do that. Planendorf, I don't know if you heard me just say that. I think we should probably use bugs. Probably use the bug command just for bugs and use the forums for feedback. The forums or Discord. I promise you they read the forums. They 100% read the forums. So, what's up, Mags? Is the server you guys are going to be open tomorrow? Yeah, I think it should be. Vera. Did we decide? Is it Vera? 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 Yeah, there you go. Feedback goes to the forums. I think that just helps keep everything clean. Um, to just use bugs for bugs. So I think there are a lot of elements in AOC that will be similar to EVA Online. I agree. Actually, I think. Well, I mean, look at Thor, right? His thing is EVE Online. He's bringing a big ass guild in. So, um, I say Wyra. I'm not going to pronounce the V as a dub. I'm not going to say Wyra. Actually, maybe I will. I'll just say Wyra from now on. I'll try to remember that. Um, how are some people already playing stress test? So yesterday today is open to anyone that can access the game tomorrow can stress test the game today. So they're just trying to get the servers and make sure things are ready. So Wyra, I got to keep remembering that Wyra. How do you port to Lionhold? You run or die, run or die, and that should get you back to Lionhold. I do not believe we have fast travel. Since the biomes are so large, I really don't think huge skills. No, I do. I think they will be. Um, I don't know. I mean, I do think they will be because I mean, the targets are especially right now. Like, there's only so many things you can do. Eventually, I don't know. Maybe you're still going to know generally where your targets are, though. Um, guilds are still going to want to fight over the same castle. They're still going to want to fight over um, the same open world boss that spawns. Um, yeah, the Ember Spring is basically a graveyard. Yes. Yeah, there isn't any real fast travel right now. We'll call the horse fast travel. How about that? We'll say that the horse is fast travel. It's not. It's actually less than sprinting, apparently, per Planendorf. But we'll say it's fast. That's your fast travel. That's. Oh shit! Why is this not going? Which DPS is the best dueler right now? I think that's. I don't know. The most survivable people are going to be your bards and your clerics. Arcage had open world housing and farm spaces, so I don't see that be a server limitation. I think it's more size. Freeholds are pretty big, so there's also the visual component that I'm curious to see how they figure out. Um, you have skins, so what's it going to look like when you're running through the world and you pass Hogwarts and then you come upon Mount Doom? Like I'm really curious to see how that all works in the world, because we do have skins like that basically, and how weird it might feel. But that's a long ways off, I think. One thing I really like about their team, I can tell they really care and have a great community engagement. Yes, they do. Everyone on their community team is absolutely wonderful. We've known Margaret for a while. Actually, I think I kind of got to know her through Neuro. So we've been in similar game spaces for a bit. So Margaret's great. Her team's great. Roshan, I've known for a bit. He was actually in EverQuest Next landmark area. So we started out as an EverQuest Next landmark podcast. So we got to know him through there actually quite a bit. Their community team's really good. So the developers are really good too. I mean, look, Planendorf's been hanging out here kind of back and forth answering questions. And trust me, the man's busy right now. So, um, confirmed horse needs to be slower because it's fast travel. Ah, shit. I didn't mean that way. Sorry. You got me there, Fupo. Yeah, the Ember Spring is just a graveyard. There have been some bugs with it. Yesterday, as an example, I was trying to complete an event and I died, and I was going to run back to the event primarily to get my corpse because it had a lot. I think I dropped a lot of glint. Um, I had bound myself to one Ember Spring that was close, but I respawned all the way back in Lionhold, and so it was a long run back. But well, all right, folks. I think, especially knowing that I'm probably going to start streaming here in about 12 hours again, I think I'm going to probably head to bed. So, um, I was also up kind of late yesterday doing this. So, I appreciate everyone hanging out. Tomorrow is the day. So again, it is 10 a.m. Pacific time. Well, Mags, what do you've been raiding in Throne and Liberty, right? Is that what you were doing? I mean, you've been busy, man. Um, You just got here too. Sorry, Tiny Tebow. I mean, I have time, I guess. You got any thoughts, questions? Are you playing? Are you in Alpha 2? Guild meetings? Hey, man, Throne and Liberty is a mess, it sounds like. I don't know how you put up with the people that, all the whales. I started watching more Shroud clips about him spending all his money in his guild trying to beat everyone up. How long is the alpha? The alpha is forever. The alpha literally is forever. Alpha 2 will turn into the PTR. So it will never disappear at this point. When we have beta, beta will run alongside the alpha test or the alpha servers. So there will be some downtime probably, but at times. But and I guess I should step back a little bit. So this first phase, you're only going to have access Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then 5 days during phase two. But phase three will be 24/7. But the alpha itself will at this point go for it, be persistent. So, do you anticipate the alpha phases being extended to combat critical bugs? I love the team. I love Steven. So what I'm about to say is not meant to be mean in any way. They have not at all been any good with meeting dates. And that's just a fact. You look back, they have never met dates. So, when they say December 20th or whatever it was to get to phase two, I don't know that that will happen. When they say May for phase three, I really don't know that that will happen. So, yes, I guess that's a long, a roundabout way of saying yes. I think they probably will potentially extend some of the phases to make sure they're ready to go on to the next thing. So, oh, do I think it's realistic to see the game released in the next 2 years? No. My opinion is 2027. So, I mean, there are still, you have to keep in mind, there are still a lot of systems, like very important systems, that are not fully working or online right now. There are a lot of things that haven't even been started. The one of the core, well, for me, it's nodes. Nodes is the very big, as the owner of Schedule It Pains You. Yeah, I'm not trying to, I really don't mean that in a bad way. That's just me trying to be realistic, is that, dates just have never worked. And that's okay. That's game development, right? That's just how it works. You know, making this shit is hard, and making this shit is not easy. And so sometimes your dates don't line up, and that's just a part of it. But you look at some of the systems. What really drew me into Ashes of Creation is the node system, and right now there's not a fully as nodes are intended to be. There's not a fully functioning system yet. You look at secondary augments, which is again another big system. One of the big things that people hear when they see Ashes of Creation, they see 64 classes, and so it's like, well, how is that possible? How can you have 64 classes? Well, it's possible because of augments. Well, they've not even started augments as far as we know. And actually, the only two augments that were even mentioned in the phase three roadmap was the cleric and the tank. Didn't even mention any of the other augments. So, there's a lot of stuff to do systems wise. There's also a lot of stuff to do just from content. Um, so I think realistically, um, 27 would be my guess, but I don't know. I could be wrong. You know, they've still been hiring people. You never know. But I do think 2 years is probably not realistic. So, which I will say, by the way, if we do get to 2027 for a release, myself, Diggs, and Neuro will have covered Ashes of Creation on our show Ash and Forge for a decade, a full 10 years prior to the game actually releasing. Which is part wild and part sad. So you can take pictures of us at the start of our you can go to episode one, screenshot that shit and compare it, and take a screenshot of our last show just last week and compare that shit. And we have aged, and it is sad. So, have you gotten to play the pre-alpha spot test? Yes. Um, I have. I'm in PI, Phoenix Initiative as well. So, I've been testing Ashes for a little bit. Um, my experience, the initial pre-alpha spot tests, the servers were really, 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 really bad. Um, the testing itself was done very well. They have been very direct on a lot of their tests, so they would have us do very specific things that they were looking for feedback on, which I think is a great way to do tests. CCP Games actually is the other one that does things really well, I think, from a testing phase versus other games that just say, "Hey, come play the game, download it, and go inside." Um, PAX Day did that. They actually, I think, on one of their tests, it was like, "Hey, we want to test PvP. Log in." It's like, well, shit, you need armor, you need all this shit to PvP. Are you going to give it to us? Are you going to let us fast track to all this? Like, what do you mean, just jump in PvP? They really were directed with us in how we tested, which was nice. I will say both again. I know if for those of you who've been watching, you probably heard me say this 3 times tonight. Um, both for the pre-alpha 2 spot testing and for Node Wars, their ability to iterate and make changes is really, really good. Um, their ability to bug fix, to work on feedback, and just iterate on their builds is really good. They patch a lot. There have been a lot of patches that come through. So things will be it'll be buggy, but you have a team that's working really, 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 really fucking hard. And so thank you for all the follows as well, folks. Uh, are there any instance dungeons that exist in the alpha? No, there are not. Everything is open and will likely be a significant PVX component. So, do you think we will play the same build this weekend as we got to stress test yesterday? Been asked that question a couple of times. Um, I have been saying no, but I don't know. Was it Fupo? Somebody kind of gave a hint that there will probably be a new build in the morning. I will say that often, it's not been uncommon to wake up in the morning and have to repatch because they pushed out a build overnight. So I'm sure they're gathering a lot of very critical data right now. There are some pretty critical bugs that I'm sure they've probably prioritized. I think the two biggest ones I've seen have been hard drives filling up from crash reports and VRAM being maxed out. So they're probably working on a lot of stuff like that, and then also some server stuff. So it might be. I mean, they'll have 12 hours to put in. They'll have some time to put in a patch. So um, I'm trying to see if I have missed anything. Nope, I don't think so. Is there anyone? Let's see, who's actually streaming um, Ashes of Creation right now? Is there anyone you would like me to forward you all to? Phantom chat won't let you go to sleep if you keep asking them questions. That's true. It's fun, man. I like talking to people. What can I say? So, am I a dev? No, I am not actually. Diggs and Neuro are. Diggs was in the past. He doesn't. He dances now. Diggs is solely a dancer at this point. Actually, he does work, but he largely dances. Neurotoxin has been a developer for a while, so he's been trying to get a job at Intrepid for a bit. So no, I would know I would if you sat me down and said, "Hey, create a game," I would look at you like a fucking idiot because I wouldn't know how to do that. So I would probably challenge myself to try to learn, but no, I am not a dev. I do think we've passively learned quite a bit from everyone over the last 7 years, but um, you would apply if you were in America. Isn't there a caravan event? Yeah, you can spawn caravans. I believe. I don't think they've taken that off. Well, you have to get to the nodes, right? They need to level up to where you can do all that. So I will say the one thing that we've noticed in spot testing, it took forever to level up the nodes. Having these stress tests, the nodes have been leveling much 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 faster. So I think Stephen has always said you can expect a level 3 node within a day or two. Yes, I believe that will be the case. We will see a level. We will see nodes level up pretty fast. So, you're talking about a caravan event. Sorry, I'm talking about just caravans. Yes, there is a caravan event. So if you go, yes, it is northeast of Lionhold. It's not always there, but you'll see a broken down caravan that's on fire, and it starts off with just some general goblins that you have to kill, and then kind of each stage is a little bit hard, like tougher goblins that spawn. Eventually, it's the Goblin King, I think it is, that spawns. He is tough. You will need a group to kill him. I was with three people and we all died. I think we only got him down to like 70% or something, and he basically one-shotted me. So, have any thoughts on the horse stealing? I think they've turned that off, is what I've been told. I don't know if anyone else can verify that because I actually have stolen people's mounts. I did it by accident. Actually, I didn't realize you could do that early on, and there was a guy that was, I think, was doing something with ore and had a really cool looking mount. So I walked up to it because I just wanted to look at it, and all of a sudden my F key button is popped up, and so I pushed F, and I got on his mount and I started running away, and he turned around and looked at me like, "What the fuck are you doing?" But I'm pretty sure they turned that off. I don't think you can steal anyone else's mount. You can kill it, but you can't steal it. So, how do you get gear in the game? Right now, it's primarily through probably the most common way you're going to get gear right now is through drops. So they do have a lot of drops and some sets as well, set bonuses. I mean, you can get crafted gear as well, but crafting is so basic right now and such a grind that initially the way you're going to get gear is through just random drops. So. Yes, grind. Goblins and highwaymen. You need to go to certain patches though. Not all goblins are equal in what they drop. So the actually the goblins, it was mentioned the caravan event. They seem to, for me, they seem to drop really good loot. The goblins that are in that event. So um, will the game wipe prior to the November 8th playtest? I don't think they have. I don't know if they specifically said or not. I imagine it will. Because these phases are meant to be like major milestone changes, and so I think as we go phase one, phase two, phase three, that you can sort of you think probably not. I don't know. I mean, their goal is to not wipe, but I just wonder as they add new stuff in if that just becomes a necessity at times. That is why we have the PTR. When the All right, Incognito 23. Have a good night. Thanks for hanging with us, man. Um, I do. Initially, I was like, I was very skeptical of a PTR in an alpha. I just had never heard of that before. It has proven to be very useful. It has helped the server stay up because everything gets pushed to the PTR first, and that's where your bugs are found and fixed, and then that's pushed to the production Alpha 2 servers. So, well, all right. As Planendorf said, if I quit asking you questions, then I can maybe go to bed. So I'm going to see real quickly if there's anyone else in the Ashes of Creation category. Um, we rated Turgo yesterday. I don't know. I'll leave it to you guys. There's Fireplay 123 and there's Turgo Live. I don't know who you would want me to send you to. Hey, Planetdorf, we appreciate you. I want you to know that. I know you all sitting there in the trenches trying to work through all this shit and are in the middle of crunch. I don't know how much y'all hear it, but we 100% appreciate everything you and your team and everyone at Intrepid are trying to do for us. So hopefully here soon you will get to have a little break and take some time to yourself. So um, all right, I don't know. Does anybody have an opinion? I like to spread stuff around, but oh, he's a fireplace in an AFK stream. Okay, well then we'll just go to Turgo. Is Turgo on? Well, shit, is he even there? I don't see him talking. Is no one on? I hate to just end the stream. I don't know. Is there anyone else you want to go to? I hate to just like terminate the stream and not send anywhere. Um, yeah, he just has a countdown. All right, guys. Well, I don't know that there's anyone on doing ashes, so that's actively doing ashes. So I think I'm probably going to end the love of the spreading of the raids. So unless there's someone else you want me to send you, and otherwise I will be on tomorrow when the servers go live. I'll try to maybe come on a little bit early, but I imagine there's going to be a lot of people on, so I don't know who I'll be competing with. Certainly Jamie, but shit, maybe I'll get bored and just get on like 8 a.m. I don't know. But y'all have a good night, and thanks for hanging out with me all tonight. Everyone new that followed, subbed on YouTube. Appreciate y'all. And these sort of chats are what make this fun. So it's pretty fucking cool that 7 years is about to come to a very important point tomorrow where we all get to enjoy Alpha 2. So I'm super excited. So y'all have a wonderful night, and yeah, we will see you tomorrow. So.